What's up, guys? Dad Dash here. So I'm coming to you here today with a video. I wanted to do a video today for some tips for some full-time dashers, what to expect, what to do, and what you need to do in order to get the most out of that experience. By dashing, I mean I'm using that to encompass everything, whether you're working for Grubhub, Uber Eats, DoorDash, whatever it might be. These are some tips after 2 years of doing this I recommend. First tip, make sure you use a business phone and a personal phone. Now this video is going out to people that are serious about this on a full-time basis. So this is a small percentage of you. I know DoorDash says most dashers dash a maximum of 4 hours a week. So this isn't going out to the 4-hour-a-week dasher. This is going out to 30 or more hours a week. You're out here, you're doing this as a primary source of income, or it makes up probably 70-80% of the income that you earn on a monthly basis, and you're getting it from gig apps. What I recommend you do is have a business phone. And if you're making a lot of money and a lot of your money is coming from gig work, meaning it's coming from 1099 work, you need tax deductions, and that extra phone will create a tax deduction. And you may say, well, I can't afford it. Well, no, you can afford it, because if you're paying your taxes, which you are, or you're on a payment plan for them, but if you're paying your taxes and you're doing things right, and then you're going to be able to afford that extra phone plan. Trust me, you will be able to do it. That extra 60 or 70 bucks will come in handy, and it will be invaluable to you as a dasher, having that extra handset, having that extra phone there, and having a phone that will have all your records. You can have your mileage tracker on there. You can have your, all of your spreadsheets, all of your screenshots. It'll all be on your main phone, so you can go right in and dig in and get the information you need right off of it whenever you need it. It'll also give you a firewall between work and life, or personal life. So you can have your personal phone, which you can use as a secondary phone, but when you get done with work, if it's a day off, you're logging out of all the apps on your personal phone. No big deal. You're logged out. You're in personal mode, and you're not thinking about work. And it's important you do that, because when you get into gig work, gig work is like everywhere. You have a phone with you. You can work at any time, any place. You can work on your way to the store, on your way back to the store, and you can get really caught up. And the thing about it is it's not like the money you're making during those little times. Sometimes it can be huge, and sometimes it can be 10 or 11 or 12 bucks, but it still might take 15, 20, 30 minutes of your time, and you're working and you're putting towards that. And it's like, you never feel like you're ever off. So you want to make sure you let yourself get some time off, get some time away, clear the chamber a day or two a week. That brings me into my second tip. Make sure if you're doing this full time, set a schedule for yourself. When you first get started, figure out the times that you want to work. Figure out the best times to work. You're going to have to do some experimentation. But what I would recommend you do is you figure out a time and a schedule, and you work it. Do everything for a month. Look at your results. Are you making enough? And see then if there's a time that you weren't making a lot, or a shift that wasn't working. Adjust it. Then try it again for 30 more days. And keep adjusting it until you start seeing consistent earnings in a consistent range of earnings that gives you enough to cover what you need. And in some weeks, maybe you have more and you got some savings. In some weeks you have less, and you're fine because you've at least covered the bills that you need. So make sure you give yourself some time, on and off times. Don't get out here and get drifting and just decide, hey, you know what, I need to make $300 today, and then sit in your car all day. You will burn out. You will have mental health problems. I mean, you couldn't do that with a regular job, right? You've got to have that work-life balance. And if you're going to make this your primary way of earning money, you've got to do that yourself, and you've got to be disciplined enough to do it yourself. So set it up. I would recommend you go in your market and start out with, if you're new, 10:30 to 2:30 and 4:30 to 8:30, and do it 5 days a week and see what that generates for you. Pick 5 days, work those 5 days, do that for 4 weeks, see if you've made enough, right? Now, you can also, as always, that's your base time. You can work some OT. You can work some strategic times. Now, during those days that you're scheduled on a shift, you should have an amount of, let's say it's $1,000. So you should have a $200 goal that day, and have that goal in front of you. Now, depending on how far you are from that goal, when you get done working those times, will determine whether or not you should stay out longer or not, right? But you should try to work those times and see what it is. See how far you are. Now, if you're way off your goals, maybe you got to add a little extra time in there or whatever. I mean, you got to make your adjustments, because if this is the way you're paying your rent and your big bills and you're not even covering those, you may have to work a little extra if the times you select or the days you select don't work out. But start by doing that. Work those times. Work with a goal. Now, on days that you're not working, days that you're off days, say you have an off day, and you decide, I'm just going to go out, I'm going to turn the app on here or there. Don't put a goal in on your sheet. And that'll get me to number 3. But don't have a goal that day. You're not on duty. You're not working that day. You're just filling the gaps in. Maybe filling some of the days you missed the goals, some of the days you didn't, and you're just like, hey, I'm going to the store. I got $10. I came back from the store, got a run on the way to my house, got another $7. And then, went out. Maybe you had somewhere to go and you had 20 minutes before a doctor's appointment, so you ran a $5 order for McDonald's for 1 mile right next to where you're at. You're not doing things like you would if you were out working, but you're just running. And maybe at the end of the day, you've accumulated $40. That $40 may help you with the other day that you were $40 short of hitting your goal, and there it is. That's how you should do it. Keep it real casual. Keep it like it's that casual dasher getting in those extra 4 hours that they're using on top of their job. Make sure you delineate that, okay? Now, tip number 3 is, if you're doing this full time, you've got to have a tracking sheet. You've got to have tracking of some sort. And I'm not just talking about like driver utility helper. I'm talking about tracking your earnings, tracking what you're doing, tracking the time you're in, time you're out. Pay attention to work rate. Pay attention to how frequently you're working during the times you're working, and be making adjustments and reactions to that time. But you've got to be aware of what it is you're earning, what it is you're working, how many miles you're running, and all the aspects of the business that you're running, so you can see what's working and what's not working. But you've got to track it. I've shown you my tracker. You see it in my videos. You see it in my ride along. Anybody interested in having that, build your own. Again, you can take that and build from it. I only ask you subscribe, reach out to me, and I will send you the tracker in your email if you're interested in it, if it's something that would help and benefit you. But those are the 3 tips right now that come off the mind that I would suggest anybody who's a full-time serious gig worker, dasher, whatever you want to call it, consider doing. All right, guys, hopefully this was helpful. As always, guys, stay safe, stay profitable, and I'll talk to you soon.